mother's absence became most apparent. My father, who in many ways remained a boy himself, cut a dashing figure as he picked me up at the end of term in whatever incarnation of a prototype he'd been working on, all leather-coated, moustache and goggles, revved up for the next event on the calendar. Never a moment to lose, we rushed from the London to Gloucester trial to Brooklands for the round-the-mountain race meeting. While he denied himself pause for thought, I pondered that perhaps a woman as exciting as my mother might have enjoyed our escapades. I met her once, when I was about 10. Only the once. My father and I were visiting Brighton for the annual speed trials that took place along a mile of Arrow Straight Road, when he caught sight of an advertisement for a photography exhibition. Well now! The name on the awnings wasn't one I recognized. Grabbing hold of my upper arm, he raised his free hand to halt the traffic. "This looks like fun, James. What do you say?" "But you said we were going to have—" I was not expected to say anything. That much was apparent. The harshness of his glare retracted the promise of ice cream. We shuffled as part of a compacted crowd from one black-and-white memory to another. And there she was. Another exhibit to be admired from a carefully roped-off distance. Weightless coral chiffon, skin like cream, bobbed hair the colour of autumn. Why, kingdom! She appeared animated, but I was bored by the affectations women made for my father's benefit. They talked their various ways into his drawing-room to see for themselves the lie of the land, the habitat of this almost available and most amusing of men, only to find the errant son lingering in the doorway, seen but not heard, forever eavesdropping. "You should have warned me." "Why, kingdom?" I was exaggerating her voice inside my head. "You should have—" Pushed in front, my father's hands clamped tightly on my shoulders. I shrank as every vertebra in my back was compressed. "Son?" He cleared his throat. 3 noisy syllables. "This is your mother." There had been no warning. I had prayed for this moment, but now it had arrived. My jaw dropped, my throat constricted. She exhaled my name. James. As though it were part of her she couldn't bear to be parted with. I swallowed hard, looking from this woman, a tableau not unlike one of her own photographs, to my father's face, uncertain how he expected me to react. I don't recognize her." "No." His grip relaxed, knuckles cracking in my ears. "Not your fault. No reason you should." The shudder of the woman's breath was audible. Her pale blue eyes pooled. I watched her lips tremble before she covered them with a slender-fingered hand. Everything else was utterly still, the moment suspended. "Move along." As an attendant's shout broke the spell, the shuffling recommenced, carrying us in its wake. I wasn't ready, still trying to absorb that this woman was my mother. Desperate for another glimpse, I rotated my neck like an owl. She was on tiptoes, straining to make herself seen above heads and hats, between shoulders. "James?" I heard her call above the steady murmur, slightly louder now. "James?" Not the voice of someone who would abandon me, but increasingly desperate. Holding on to a brass post for support, I leant out across the thick twist of rope. "Mother? Mother?" Seeing me, her expression of panic softened. She smiled, pressed 2 fingers to her lips, and then turned the fingers towards me, rippling. I blinked hard, capturing the gesture. Her fingers, lips, the wave. 2 shrill blasts of a whistle cut through the echoing space. "Back, please. Stand well back." But it was my father's hand that grabbed my collar. Reluctantly releasing my grip on the brass post, I was airlifted back among the crush, watching my damp fingerprints evaporate. "I'm sorry, sir." Shamefaced, I bowed my head, anticipating punishment. "I only wanted—" "Son, I thought I'd lost you." My head swiveled back in the direction we had come.